Okay guys, welcome to this next tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can convert this 3x2 flat into a 3x2 flat wing, or we might call it a 3x2 flat chamfer. So the major difference between the two parts is that the chamfered part, or this part here, which happens to be a wing for my device, doesn't have studs and also has this part cut off. So a couple of ways you could go about doing this. You could use a lot of geometry, you could draw stuff, but I want to show you how to use the chamfer tool to create this shape in the wing here. So I'm just going to go back to my 3x2 flat, and this is the one that I'm going to edit. So first thing to do is to name it the new file that you want it to be. So File, Save As, and I'm going to call this a 3x2 flat chamfer. You can call it whatever you want for your actual device. Click on Save. I'll just quickly go back and refresh that. There it is. Make sure it's the one I'm after, 3x2 flat chamfer. Good, I got the right file. And the first thing I'm going to do is to apply a chamfer to one of these edges. So if I click onto this edge here, the shortest edge, and highlight it, and then I come up to my Modify tools at the top here, click on the Modify icon. And underneath fillet is the chamfer command. So click on chamfer, and it defaults to the edge that you selected. If that says 0, you can just then select it as one edge. You can do more than one edge at a time if you wish. Hold down the shift key. You could do 4 or even 5 if you wanted to. And then by grabbing that little arrow and pulling it in, you can apply a regular chamfer. Okay, which means that's going to be moving in the same distance along both these axes. That's not actually what we want. We actually don't want a regular chamfer, and we don't want it on all 4 edges. So I'm just going to deselect those edges. Go back here, select the edge that I want, and rather than the chamfer type being equal distance, click on the black diamond, or black triangle I should say, and change it from equal to 2 distances. Once you've done that, you'll then see 2 arrows appear. Now the 2 arrows allow you to pull the chamfer in 2 directions at different units. You can see it happening there. So the trick here is working out how far to set that chamfer back from the corner. Now we know if I spin this around like so, on the right view like so, that the distance from this corner to this corner for a 1x1 piece is 7.9. So therefore the distance that I went from this corner back to here has to be equal also to 7.9. So type in 7.9 in that value, click onto the box below it, and the second distance is equal to that length of 7.9 times 3. So we can then come to this distance, type in 7.9, shift asterisk and 3, and you'll see it'll then take it right to the corner. Now that may be what you're after, but I've also seen on some Lego pieces that they don't always chamfer right back to the corner. Sometimes there's a minute step back there as well, so it might actually look like that there. So it's up to you to depend on what look you want to create. Remember, everything is a multiple of 7.9. So we click OK to the chamfer, but you can see we've still got these studs remaining here, and there's also this hollowed out section underneath here. So what we might do, it depends on what you're trying to create. I might just leave the shell there at the moment and just try removing these studs and see what happens. So realistically, the easiest way to remove these studs is just to cut them away by creating a sketch and then using your extrude cut. You could try going down here and turning extrusions on and off and all sorts of stuff, but the easiest way really is just to do a sketch. So what I'm going to do is select a surface down here that I'm going to put a sketch on, and I'm simply going to draw a rectangle to encompass the studs that I want to cut away. So click on rectangle. It should snap to that point, hopefully. Yes, it does. And drag it away like so. It doesn't matter how big I make this. Finish the sketch, and then select that sketch, go to your extrude, and then drag it so it cuts it away. It turns into red for that cut. Make sure it says cut up here, which it does, and click OK. Now you can see the little problem here. We've got these holes, and they're a result of the original shell. So we go down to the timeline down the bottom here, we find the shell that we applied, select it, right click, delete, and you can see now it's filled back in, and then just simply reapply the shell. So flip it over, select the bottom surface, that's the surface you don't want to be included in the shell, click on the shell icon, 1.45, and happy days. Okay, so that's using the chamfer tool, remembering that everything's a multiplication on 7.9.